Welcome back to Mean Streets, the podcast where we investigate the best, worst, and forgotten movies of film noir and more. I am Luke Deckard.
And I'm Matthew Booth.
And we are your cinematic sleuths. Now it's time to crack another case. Welcome back, Matt. Another episode of Debriefed.
Debriefed, yeah. Always
one
good
of these
fun.
In a while.
No, not been ages. Yeah, ages. But these are always good fun to have.
They are. Was it Christmas? Maybe?
I think it was Christmas. I think it was or New Year or something we did.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the last debrief was. I'm sure it was riveting, whatever.
Whatever it was. It was.
Sure
I can't remember.
But well, I guess we can update all of our listeners with what's going on with Mean Streets, because I'm sure some of you have probably noticed that we've moved away from weekly episodes to every other week episodes with Mean Streets. Should we, you probably all know why now, because we've put the trailer out, but Matt, we've decided to open the investigations up a little bit wider, and we're kicking off a new podcast, aren't we?
New podcast, yeah, to sort of broaden our horizons, broaden the case files.
And I suppose we should explain. We thought, we've always wanted to talk about. We love talking film noir and neo noir and noir adjacent films and TV, but we also like other films that they don't fall into that, and we wanted to be able to sort of talk about that without jeopardizing what Mean Streets is all about.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly, because we share interests beyond film noir, don't we? So various franchises and all the rest of it. Yeah, that we're we like discussing and have got views on, good or bad.
Yes.
But we didn't want to sort of, I suppose, taint or taint the brand of Mean Streets or shoehorn anything into Mean Streets that didn't belong. So
yeah.
It seemed a sensible compromise.
Yeah, we didn't think that people wanted to hear our take on, Alien Earth on Mean Streets or Jurassic World Rebirth.
And there was some franchises that I won't necessarily name them now, but there were some franchises that I'm desperate to talk about, and I kept saying, can we not sort of get away with saying it's noir because of this?
Yes.
And we decided on balance that we couldn't.
Yes. So alas, we have decided to kick off a spin-off show called Cinema Sleuths. The first episode is going to be May the 4th. Very excited to kick off in May. We have a whole bunch of really cool episodes coming up. And I would say, look, if you like Mean Streets, if you like what we do here, in many ways, we're sort of applying the same sort of style of discussion and review over on Cinema Sleuths, but there will be slight differences. It's a very the scope might be might change slightly in how we approach a film, or maybe look at a topic that surrounds a film or a franchise, and sometimes we might have multi-part episodes, which we don't really do on Mean Streets, but no, we don't do that on Mean Streets, but there's obviously, with the wider spectrum of films that we can discuss on Cinema Sleuths, there is more opportunity to do multiple episodes about certainly a franchise. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it does, like we said, it does give us an opportunity to discuss more stuff than just that particular period that Mean Streets covers, and that particular type of film that Mean Streets covers. Yes. So in the description of this episode, there are links to Cinema Sleuths on Podbean and Apple and Spotify, and it's available pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. The account, the feeds are up and ready to go. We would love for you guys to head over there and start following us now, so that when the first episodes drop in May, you'll be there ready to go, because I'm telling you, we have a really cool trio of episodes coming out as our first lot, with some cool guests coming to talk about some fun stuff. But we're not going to give away what we're talking about yet. Maybe near the time we'll do
near
some
the
more
time,
teasers.
perhaps.
But and we should also add that Phil Dragish, who did our Mean Streets cover, also did Cinema Sleuths, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the cover is pretty it's pretty darn awesome.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. So thanks to Phil.
Yes, thank you, Philippe. So yeah, Cinema Sleuths coming May 4th. Follow, subscribe wherever you do it, and get ready for some fun stuff. And look, we're not gonna crowd everyone's podcast feed with too much stuff. We're gonna make sure that there's a good balance between Mean Streets and Cinema Sleuths. So you have time for both shows.
It's fair to say that if you like what we do on Mean Streets, then you'll like Cinema Sleuths. I think it's the same vibe.
It is. So yeah, Debriefed. We're here to sort of talk about various things that we've seen lately that will never make Mean Streets.
Yeah. There's a few things here coming up. Yeah, there's a few things that a few things with a lot to say about them.
Yes. Well, let's start with Lanterns.
Okay.
I know everyone was like, "Oh God, comic book shit, fuck off." Now, I have to just say that I've found the discourse around Lanterns very fascinating. It's the trailer came out the other day, and it's basically just Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart sitting in a car, having some conversations, and a little bit of action, a little bit of mystery, and the setup is that there's some weird shenanigans going on in some backwater town, and they're going to investigate, and that's the premise. What we know so far, that's the premise. It's not. It doesn't look on the surface that this is a big intergalactic rigmarole. It seems very grounded, very earthy. It seems very noir.
It does seem very noir, yeah. In a similar sort of vibe to Jeff Bridges and what's that film called?
You mean Hell or High Water?
Hell or High Water, yeah.
Hell or High Water, True Detective. It's very, very True Detective.
Yeah, there is a noir element to it, and just that summary of what we've seen so far that you just given. I just want to say straight away, do we really need any more than that? Because I think it's a nice little teaser, a nice little taster. It's got enough stuff to make you go, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I know some people were complaining because Kyle Chandler drops the F-bomb and stuff. He's like, oh, there's a fucking squirrel,
Yeah. Well, that was a highlight for me. I thought that was quite good.
I actually kind of thought it was funny. I do get some of the apprehension, the DC stuff that like drops curse words very early on sometimes it can feel a little try hard. I remember when Titans came out, one of the big lines in the trailer was Robin saying "fuck Batman."
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was a bit sort of eye rolly, and I kind of got maybe a little bit of a similar vibe when Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan was dropping the F-bomb all the time. But I did laugh at the squirrel joke. I thought that was
I laughed at the squirrel joke, and I think for me there was a difference between that Titans thing and this, in that Titans thing was very obviously like a lazy way of saying this is Robin stepping out of the shadow of Batman, and it was a real cheap way of doing it that really, for my money, didn't make the character stronger. It belittled it. Yeah. Because I don't think Robin would say it for a start. No. Secondly, in this, it was a lot more of a conversational F-bomb in the way that people use it, the way that people say it. If you'd had to fight a galactic war next to a squirrel, I think you might probably say one of them was a squirrel in that particular way. I think it seemed a lot more in character to me than the
Yes, which the interesting thing to me is like there's this the backlash seems to be that it's not intergalactic enough, and then there's been this crazy fucking lunatic revisionist syndrome going on in which people are looking back at Ryan Reynolds' movie from 2011 and saying, well, actually, this was really pretty good. No, let me just stop you now. No, Ryan Reynolds' 2011 Green Lantern is fucking dog shit.
Yeah,
nothing about that film is good. The script is terrible. The acting, except for Mark Strong, is fucking awful. Ryan Reynolds is terrible. Blake Lively is awful. The graphics are terrible. The villain is stupid. Like this, it is so unimaginative for a guy who has to use his imagination. Like, there was no imagination in this movie. It was literally a rehash plot wise of what was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's big smoky cloud is going to envelop the earth. Blah 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 blah. Stop it. Stop trying to be revisionist. And this is, I got to say it. I'm on a roll now. This is one of the worst things to happen from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and that is this lunatic idea that you have to go that you go back and you like suddenly love the thing that you hate. Everyone hates the prequels. They fucking suck. The Star Wars prequels suck. They sucked at the time. They suck now. They're not magically better because the sequel trilogy also sucks. It all sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that was bad is not better because something comes along that's even worse. We must stop thinking like this.
Do you remember back in the day when like people used to be like the new thing was just instantly the better thing? Do you remember when that used to be the case?
I do remember when that was a thing. Yeah.
Where did that go?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's new, so it's instantly better. Now it's like, oh, it's new, so it's instantly the worst. Oh my God. Nostalgia's warped our brains.
Sometimes it is true, but sometimes it isn't. And but the Green Lantern film from whenever the hell it was, when was it? 2000 and something.
2011.
Is that when it was? It was bad then.
It was.
And it's bad now. So it hasn't got better with time. No. Even with, and I'm fairly nostalgic and sentimental, as people will know. Even with those glasses on, this is still shit. There's no getting away from it. And like you say, the character's meant to be someone who uses his imagination. That ring will produce whatever he wants it to produce. And he just produces the most mundane things.
I'm going to make a giant fist.
A fist, yeah. A fist. You've got your own fists.
Yes. Yes.
The idea of Green Lantern is that you can pretty much, to me, was always that there were no limits. Whatever he could imagine, he could produce.
Yes.
For good or ill. And that movie was just so tied down with its own lack of vision.
Yes.
Plus, it looks horrendous.
It does. The suit, everyone's bitching because we don't see Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart in a suit. But I'm like, would you really want to go back to that awful, gross CGI suit?
Yeah.
Like, it looks awful. There's the weird, uncanny valley mask and eyes, green eyes.
Eyes.
Like, just no.
No. I don't want to go back to that.
No.
It's one of those films that I'm sure I went to the pictures to see it. Sure I did.
I definitely did not. I was like, nope, no way. I hate Ryan Reynolds. Not happening. Ryan Reynolds' range works for Deadpool, and that is it.
Well, that's the other thing. I think as Green Lantern, he's way too much of a wisecracking ass.
Yes.
Yes. And I hated it. And then I think it was one of those films that I only watched again to just sort of prove to myself that it was as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't just me hating on it from the word get-go, but no, it wasn't. Dreadful film. We don't need to go back to that. And no matter what you think of this trailer, it doesn't make that film better.
No,
just does not.
No, not at all. Look, I'm interested. I want to see lanterns. I do hear the concern, like. But at the same time, I want to caveat this by saying I'm not like a Green Lantern aficionado. I know who Hal Jordan is. I know who Jon Stewart is. I know Hal Jordan's origin story. I like Hal Jordan. There's literally an action figure of him directly behind me on my bookcase next to Superman with the Green Lantern ring. Some of that is just I just like the aesthetic of it, but like so I know a little bit about Green Lantern, but I'm not going to pretend to be like this deep dived expert on it. But I do take I take the criticism that people are like, oh, it's Green Lantern. I want there to be some sort of intergalactic element to it. Sure, maybe there will be. Wait
There
for the
might be.
fucking show to come out.
Yeah,
Like the fact that he mentions that there is a squirrel Green Lantern indicates that there is a wider, nuttier universe out there.
That he knows and he's part and has been part of, at least.
Yes.
Like you, I'm not. I won't pretend I'm a massive Green Lantern fan. To me, it was always Hal Jordan. I mean, that's how old I am. And like you, I liked the costume. I liked the idea of the ring, but I was never into him as much as I was Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. But I agree entirely with what you just said about this trailer. You know, so there's no shots of galactic adventures. That's not to say there won't be at some point in the program. And one of the things I liked about this trailer was it didn't show too much straight away.
No.
It leaves you wanting the very fact that these people are getting frustrated with the fact there was no space battles. That I think to that extent, the trailer's almost succeeded beyond its wildest dreams because it's going to make you watch it in case there are.
Yes,
you know,
but like
that's what trailers used to do. Trailers used to give you a taste to make you like a carrot on a stick to make you want to go and see the film.
Yes, yeah. What I don't understand as well, it's like, I mean, again, I mentioned it a bit ago, but like, no one threw a fit about Guy Gardner in Superman.
No,
like everyone was like, "Oh, Guy Gardner, you big yay!" I thought he was the dumbest fucking thing in that stupid movie.
I'm not saying something.
But you know what? No one complained about him using his powers and not being surrounded by green fucking light. Everyone's like, "Oh, how's Hal Jordan flying? There's no green aura around him." Like, really? You're gonna bitch about aura? Shut up!
Come on,
like,
come on.
Get a life. Get a life. Get a life.
There's all sorts of things that the trailer doesn't tell you. You know, that might yet happen to explain what you see in the trailer. I mean, this idea that the trailer's got to give you everything at once, I think is that's really sad. To be honest.
Or they saw the suit. They saw the suit being that was hung up and have instantly assumed it's their suit. Well, what if it's not?
What if it's not? Yeah.
What if it's someone else's old suit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so many things that might yet happen. And it's not for a trailer, I don't think, to give too much away. I think it is the trailer purpose is to lure you in. And it has done that for me, I have to say.
And even though I'm not a massive fan of Superman 2025 or a lot of the DCU, I just kind of don't care. One thing that's been pretty consistent across the DCU stuff from sort of it doesn't count anymore, but sort of does. This like Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, Superman. What's been pretty consistent is most of the baddies and the goodies look pretty close to their comic book counterparts.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Guy
Gardner does, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I'm like, come on, they, you know what? It can go one of two ways, obviously, but like I would be more inclined to say I'm sure we'll get a closer Green Lantern outfit for these guys than what we saw hung up. Like I just feel like we probably will. Now another caveat to all of this, like I also understand if like the concern that like, hey, if they don't rock up in their suits at all, that will be annoying. Like I remember being quite disappointed, a little bit disappointed with Daredevil. When you get to the very end and he finally wears a suit for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then doesn't wear it for the majority of season 2. And then not at all for season 3. You're like, I just want him back in the fucking suit. Just put him in the cool ass suit. Jesus.
Yes. Especially when the suit is so good.
It's so cool.
The Daredevil suit, all the suits are really good in Daredevil.
Yes.
And when such care has been taken, it just seems a crying shame.
Yes.
To make when they've gone to such lengths to make a believable rendition, is that the right word, of a comic book suit. Every minute he's not wearing it seems like a bit of a waste.
Yes. Yes. So hey, I mean, at least Daredevil Born Again, he wore the suit quite a bit, and that was nice. But so yeah, I just be patient, people. Be patient.
Yeah, that's the message. Be patient. Be patient.
Let's see how Lanterns comes out. Let's see what happens when it comes out. I would like to be pleasantly surprised. That's my hope. That's my hope. Okay, what you go next, Matt? What's something you've watched?
Well, I've started. Do you want to go on to the? Do you want to go on to the Young Sherlock now? Because I've just watched a couple episodes of that.
Sure. Should I start this off by saying that I was lucky enough to go to the premiere along London South Bank at the Queen Elizabeth
Hall.
Hall.
Did. You were there.
I was there. Guy Ritchie was there. The cast was there. I did not talk to them at all because there wasn't an opportunity. There were also a bunch of social media influencers that were the most sickening, depressing, god-awful leeches in the world.
I will take your word for that. I don't know what you're talking about.
They were just, it was the most depressing experience of standing back and watching them, light up for their little phone, and then the light goes off on their phone, and like the light also went out in their eyes.
What an indictment that is.
It was pathetic. But Young Sherlock, yeah. So
Young Sherlock,
the first episodes.
I've watched the first couple of episodes. Just to put this in context, people who tune in regularly will know I'm a Holmes. Holmes is why I'm sitting here right now. He got me into crime writing, crime fiction, everything. I'm not a purist by any stretch of the imagination, because my favorite Holmes film is not based on a Conan Doyle story at all. That's Murder by Decree for people that are interested. And I've written my own Sherlock Holmes stories. We both have that have been published. I've written radio plays for Sherlock Holmes stories, all the rest of it. I'm not a purist. I don't like things where Holmes is up against the Martians from the War of the Worlds, or he's on the Titanic, or he's fighting Tarzan, all of which are genuine Holmes pastiches or continuation novels, as they call them.
Though I will say, Holmes and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Lauren Esselman is genuinely really good.
Yeah, when it works, when someone does something like that and it's believable in the same world.
Yes.
Then yeah, but.
Or like when that one guy wrote Sherlock Holmes and the Horror of Frankenstein, a graphic novel, that's someone being me, and that graphic novel being amazing.
That obviously works. But Holmes fighting War of the Worlds Martians, I'm not on board with any of that.
No.
I'm not really on board. So all that was a preamble to this. I'm not really on board with young anybody, I think it works with Endeavour because Endeavour, as we've said before, stands on its own 2 feet as a character in his own right. I think you can watch the Endeavour series and never watch an episode of Inspector Morse, and you won't really have lost anything. I do like the Spielberg Young Sherlock, but only because it's cheesy and it's a bit of fun and it's a bit of nonsense and fluff. But in general, I don't really go along with all these young.
You don't like young Bond, young Indiana Jones.
I'm interested in young Bond. I'm not interested in young Indiana Jones. No,
that show is
terrible. Get on with that series at all.
No, that's really bad.
I think I've said on the channel before. I'm on with young Bond if it's the story of him being recruited from the Navy. I'm on board with that. I don't really care about him as a schoolboy, because how much can one schoolboy get involved in? That makes it exciting. I'm not really interested in that. My biggest beef about all this is that I can never get it out of my head that someone didn't sit down and say, a budding writer didn't sit down and say, I want to write a story about a Victorian schoolboy or a Victorian schoolgirl who is a detective. but no one will publish it unless I call it Sherlock Holmes' sister.
Yes.
Or Sherlock Holmes himself. And that then is using Doyle's characters in a very catch-penny way. And because you haven't got the guts to do it with your own character. And I think then you've got a very difficult job to do, because you've got to convince me that this young man turns into Doyle's Holmes. Now, that's what Endeavour does very well. But 9 times out of 10 on things like this, I think, why don't you just create your own character? And when I watched it, I thought...
Well, hang on. Before you dive into the actual show, let's add a little bit more context to the show before you start giving away your thoughts. Before you start giving away your full thoughts. Because there's a couple things I want to say as well in relation to where you're at the moment with this. One, when I was at the premiere, one of the things that the showrunner came up on stage and said, along with Guy Ritchie. So this is a Guy Ritchie show. Guy Ritchie is known for doing not the original, but the Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law first 2 films. So in terms of tone and style, just knowing that Guy Ritchie's involved, like, you know what you're going to get on that side.
You do. And indeed you get it.
And you do get it. It's yes. And one of the other things that the showrunner said at the premiere was they very much used and I don't want to say abused, but they used and abused that line that Conan Doyle once penned to William Gillette: "Murder him, marry him, murder him, do whatever you want with Holmes." And that has been the greatest source for people to do literally whatever they want with Sherlock Holmes. The creator himself told a writer to do whatever you want with my character. I don't care, because Doyle really didn't care.
This is true.
The people who care were the audience. That's it. They care far more than the creator. The death of the author really does begin with Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah. The audience and the editors of the Strand, they cared.
Yes, and that's it. So it's while I totally take the point of, like, okay, I've got this little girl detective, I'm gonna make her Sherlock Holmes' sister, and her name is Enola, which is alone backwards. Shut up. Yeah, that's stupid. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like it. I think that's cheap. I think it's cheap. I think it's silly. I'm sure someone could easily say similar things about me writing a Holmes and Frankenstein comic, but it's all about execution. It's all about trying to do something. You can do something fun and out of the box with this character, like Holmes versus Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it still work and still feel good. You can do something that is absurd, like having Holmes meets Watson in not primary school, but whatever, school in the Spielberg film, and it become beloved. Or you can turn Sherlock Holmes into a fucking mouse. Or I'm not gonna lie, I really liked the cartoon Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. Yeah. It's stupid and goofy, and Watson is a robot, but it's good fun.
But they are recognizably Holmes and Watson.
Yes.
In terms of character.
Yeah. So that's all good. So I guess I say all that to say that, like, it really depends on the execution of it. But also, you aren't a fan of the Robert Downey Jr. films, though, are you?
No. So going back to Guy Ritchie, I absolutely agree 100% that you know what you're going to get. And my lord, does he do what it says on the tin? This is a Guy Ritchie product, and that is what you get.
Yes.
I'm not a lover of the Downey Jr. films. No, I prefer the first one by a country mile to the second one, which I think is just awful. And I don't really mind. Well, I didn't on first viewing mind all that fast, slow. When he's in the fight scenes and he's working out what move to do.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a very clever.
I thought that was quite clever. I thought that was quite clever.
Holmes-o-vision, they called it, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't think that was clever, but I thought the idea of him thinking, because it was a way of showing that he thinks 8 steps ahead.
Yes.
For that, I was, but Robert Downey Jr. is not my idea of Sherlock Holmes for a lot of reasons. But in the second film, it just became more of the same, and there was nothing. And then it became like stop start. There were bits where they were suddenly in slow motion in a dramatic pose, then they were racing ahead at full speed. And
the poster told me everything I needed to know about that Sherlock Holmes in the Game of Shadows, and that was more action and funnier.
Now, here's the problem for me. Guy Ritchie seems to me to be adamant that Holmes is some sort of vaudeville comedian. And I get that in this TV series as well.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit of it.
All right.
And that sort of cockney, cheeky chappy, boyish type of, lads humor that's just underlying it for me. And my point about that is that the Sherlock Holmes stories are themselves humorous. They know that they are ridiculous, and they take the mickey out of themselves. That's why you get titles like the Giant Rat of Sumatra, And I don't think you need to poke as much fun at Sherlock Holmes as people think you need to, because he does it himself. The stories do it themselves. But I don't buy into this boyish, brash way of telling a Sherlock Holmes story. Having said that, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it in fact, I watched the 2 episodes. So, I mean, that says a lot, And I thought there were some interesting things done. I quite like the idea that I always had a problem with him meeting Watson at school in the Spielberg film. I like the idea that Watson isn't here.
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes.
I quite like the idea that
you're jumping ahead.
I'm jumping. All right. Okay. Go on. Go on. I'll shut up for a while. You can you can say something.
You dive into the story.
To summarize where I am, I'm not a big lover of these things. I agree that you can do a lot with this character because he's been around for so long, but it's all about the style and the execution. I don't really like Guy Ritchie's style. There's one problem. But I didn't want to turn it off within 10 minutes, unlike another Holmes-related property that we'll come on to. But,
yes. I like Guy Ritchie's style when he's doing just a normal Guy Ritchie film. So I recently watched The Gentleman for the first time, and I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it is what it is. It's not highbrow, but it is London gangster, lots of cursing, lots of violence, brawling. That's quite fun. And he brings that to Sherlock Holmes, which is quite antithetical of Sherlock, I think.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, I had two things going in my mind going into this. One, I very quickly realized that really what this show is, it's a Sherlock Holmes attempt at Smallville. It is, you have young Clark who meets Lex Luthor while he's in high school, and it's about their budding friendship and how that friendship turns into a eternal rivalry. And that is basically what this is. And so I actually prefer him as meeting Moriarty at a young age versus meeting Watson at a young age.
So do I. I think that's one of the smart moves it makes.
Yes. And so I'm fine with that idea. And look, Smallville is, there's very obviously a bajillion different, origin stories for both Superman and Lex Luthor and when and how they meet. But for me, I love the Smallville conceit. I love this. They were both young and, on a, kind of on a similar path, and, we're best friends and really got on. And then, it's just sort of how they, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy watching this friendship crumble due to whatever is going on in each other's lives. So I kind of like that they took that approach. It's not massively original, obviously, but I was like, okay, that's what they're going for here. That's fine. I also wondered going in, I was like, is this meant to be a prequel to the Robert Downey Jr. films?
Well,
very quickly it's not. Very quickly you realize it's not. And part of me thought that was a little bit of a misstep. Like, come on. But who knows? There's probably a rights issue, because I guess this is
probably
Amazon and that's WB, and there's probably a reason why it's not. It's not. But my God, in the multiverse, in the Sherlock Holmes multiverse, this world is not that much different. It is like
it's not.
It's like a painting that's on the wall that's just crooked ever so slightly to.
No. Yeah. And I agree with that, because I thought that as well. And what made me think it was the scene in the prison when he's been done for pickpocketing because he's read Oliver Twist. I mean, all right, whatever. But I thought, and he's having a fight with that massive fella, and I thought, doesn't something like this happen in the Downey Jr. films?
That is like, if we're going to talk criticisms, I would say all of the fun things that happen in the Robert Downey Jr. movies happen in the first 2 episodes of this. Yeah. Actually, they happen in the first episode of this.
First episode, yeah.
You have the boxing, you have the fighting thing in the jail. Well, he's in jail, and he's in jail in the first one, and at the beginning, and Watson comes and gets him out. He fights in that place down by Limehouse, down by the river, for whatever. That's in here. The whole plot of the first movie is about essentially a bomb going off,
blowing up Parliament or something. Yeah.
And that's what's going on in this, and they have to stop it. There's a bomb that's going to go off. So, there's the mysterious femme fatale who they meet, who is helpful and unhelpful at times and stuff like that. So it's very much using the same recipe and a lot of similar beats from those films, that if you were steeped in them as much as probably I was and we were back in that time, you're sort of like, okay, these are like Guy Ritchie's favorite ideas from those movies, and he's they're using them again.
Yeah.
To slightly different effect, but it's very similar.
Yeah, very similar. And it's too similar for it not to be conscious, I think. I think it's probably a conscious decision. But I also like the idea of Moriarty instead of Watson. And I like the idea, I take your point about Smallville being a tragedy. And I think they can do that here. I think they can make it so that these two friends become bitter enemies. And that is an interesting arc to go on.
Yes.
But for me, they'll have to lose a lot of the, I can only think of calling it pub banter that Guy Ritchie seems so fond of. That relationship's got to go quite deep for it to mean something when it then fragments.
Yes.
And there's a similar problem in the Spielberg film where I don't buy the romance element of his relationship with the girl enough for me to believe that her death at the end is enough to put him off women for life.
Yes.
It's not well enough conveyed for it to have that emotional punch for me. And whilst we're only 2 episodes in, I think there's a lot of work to do if I'm going to buy into the idea that Holmes and Moriarty become bitter enemies at the end, and for it to have had an emotional impact.
Yes. Well, I would say it's worth remembering this is season 1.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, no one expected Lex Luthor and Clark Kent to be rivals by the end of season 1 of Smallville. This was
there's a lot to go.
Yeah, so that's the long game. How they pull that off will be interesting to see, and hopefully they do, but we'll see.
What did you think of him? What did you think of the actor playing Holmes?
Yeah, so his name is Hero Phineas Tiffin. He took a bit of time to grow on me. I thought that visually he's not someone who I sort of envision when I think of Sherlock Holmes. I would almost say I prefer a Robert Downey Jr. version. And I think part of that is there's just I mean, Robert Downey Jr. might be not, the right height or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's just something about the look that I'm like, you look like you should be playing Dodger, the Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
He looks like he's an grown-up version of the Artful Dodger. That sort of lad. I wasn't necessarily getting Holmes vibes. On top of that, I did find, and this wasn't just him, but I did find some of the line delivery to be a little bit hard to take in.
Yeah.
There's a sort of, oh, hello, brother dear. Oh,
Yeah.
Where's the spotted dick? There is a little bit of that.
There's a lot of that for me.
Yes. Okay, a lot of it's true. Okay, yes. There's a lot of that. And particularly between Holmes and skinny Mycroft. Like, just make Mycroft fat. Just stop it.
Or at least show him like that he's physically prone to being fat.
Yes.
Because there were times when I thought, instead of watching this, why can't I watch Holmes at the right, or starting out in his career with Watson, but have the bloke playing Mycroft play Holmes? Because without the moustache, I think he'd look quite good.
I was just looking at the guy playing Mycroft. I'm like, yeah, you actually have more of a Holmes look. This guy looks more like a Holmes. Holmes looks like he's like is it Higgins or Wiggins?
Wiggins.
He's Wiggins. He's the Baker Street irregular. That's what he should be playing. But I'm being facetious at the moment. But as the 2 episodes progressed, I began to sort of grow accustomed to his Holmes, and I even found his acting and delivery to sort of level out a little bit. So I'm interested to see if that happens throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah, I agree with that. He did get better as it went on.
Yes.
Almost as if somebody had a word with him and they didn't have time to reshoot the bits where he was bad.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, a lot less of the gurning on scene chewing and more of the introspective Holmes, which I know is something that might come later. But I mean, he is meant to be a person who's let his sister die, and he seems awfully chipper.
Well, yeah, and you got to ask yourself: is this the show? Is this them trying to depict him as? Is that a facade? Is that a mask? Is that a defense mechanism?
Time will tell. I mean, I'm being very judgmental for over 2 episodes. I realised that.
Yes.
There was something that I quite liked, the idea of the mum in the asylum.
I did not,
only because it mirrors Doyle and his father. That was what. But I caveat that by saying I reckon that's probably accidental.
Who knows?
Don't think that's a research trip paying off or anything like that. I think it's probably accidental.
I'm not sure. The reason I don't like it is because I was like, this is just Sherlock. This is the Sherlock secret sister. We have a sister, a mysterious sister who's gone. We have someone who is crazy. And okay, well, you know what I mean? This is where the show was kind of, I struggled a little bit because I thought, well, I've seen all of this stuff in your other films, Guy Ritchie, and I've seen all this stuff in BBC Sherlock. And I'm like, what's the new? The new is that this is Smallville, but I've already seen Smallville.
Yeah, I didn't get the secret sister BBC Sherlock vibe from the mother. I got something that.
No, what I mean is he has a sister They've invented both of these.
Oh, they've invented. Oh,
We have the invented sister idea. We have the tragedy of the sister.
Yeah,
because what they thought. Because remember Redbeard, the whole point of Redbeard
don't get
was
me started.
Was that the sister was dead, but she wasn't dead. She was taken to an insane asylum. She was, you know what I mean?
I can't get into that.
Yes,
I can't get into any of that. I thought I didn't think we needed the drowned sister.
No.
I really didn't. I thought the mother could be in an asylum for a different reason, something sinister to do with the father, perhaps, because that sort of thing happened, and that is the connection that Holmes has, and that's why the bitterness starts to come in, and that's why the reserve comes in. They might still do that, but I didn't think we needed the sister at all. I don't think we should be inventing relatives that Doyle didn't, sort of thing.
Yeah. I always find it a little bit cringy when they're inventing new brothers and new sisters in the Holmes. Look, it's just Holmes and Mycroft. That's fine.
It's Holmes and Mycroft. Just keep it as They both had a mother, and they both had a father. We know that.
Yes.
But they don't need additional.
I mean, shit, they could have had different mothers. If you really want to go crazy with it, give them different mothers.
Could have had different mothers.
You know what I mean?
And my only other point about this bloke playing Holmes, who I don't know from anything else personally. I think there's a different. Again, this might come in time, but there's a difference between smart Alec and arrogant intelligence. And Holmes has
Did you find him arrogant?
And not the other. No, I think Sherlock Holmes is arrogant.
Okay.
I just found this bloke annoying, and
well, see, that's actually something I liked.
Did you?
Yes. I liked that he's not a fully developed Holmes. I like that he doesn't know how to. Yeah, I like that he doesn't know how to fight. It might do. I like that he doesn't know how to fight. I like that he's still mastering his intelligence. I like that he's still mastering his deductive abilities. I like that he's, there's a nervousness around women. We don't know if he's going to be, the people like to put Holmes firmly in an asexual category, or people like to firmly put him in a homosexual category, or I like that this Holmes isn't, when we look at, I mean, there's other times you can see, you see younger Holmes and he's just instantly a fully fledged Sherlock Holmes, but in a, as a kid. And that just kind of gets old to me. I don't like that.
I agree with that.
I like that, but also, I also found that comparing him to Robert Downey Jr.'s Holmes and then Benedict Cumberbatch's Holmes, I also liked that, unlike both of those, there is an air of intelligent arrogance to him, but he's not a jackass, and he's more self-aware, and he's not so absurdly neurodiverse, which is what they do with both Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch, to the point where he's virtually unlikable. I mean, look, Benedict Cumberbatch's Holmes is one of the meanest, cruelest motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's awful.
There is. I mean, that scene in The Empty Hearse where there's the bomb going off, and he, as oh, Watson, I can't turn the bomb off, we're gonna die, and forces Watson to open up to him, is one of the dickish, cuntiest things.
And you could do. Something that Holmes would not do. No. Holmes would not do. The only person he cares about is Watson. He wouldn't put him through it. It's just horrendous.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm willing to. I'm willing to give this young Sherlock. I've seen enough to make me say maybe they've got to have him like this, irritating, because later it's going to develop, because he's still only a lad. Yeah. It's going to develop into the intelligence that adult Holmes has, that arrogance had. I'm willing to buy that. I've seen enough to make me think that is something that they've got in mind. So it did surprise me, because I thought I would loathe it.
yes, yeah.
Because there's so much about it means I should loathe it, if you know what I mean. My preconceived head says you should hate everything about this. And whilst I don't really agree with the premise, because I would have liked it much more if they'd not called it Holmes. You know, if it was just a kid detective essentially.
Yes.
But I didn't hate it.
No,
I didn't hate it.
No, I neither. And I have to say, the guy who plays Moriarty, Donald Finn, really good.
Really good, yeah, really good.
Like really good. He sort of outshines Hero Tiffin as in this.
Well, he outshines everybody else to me.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And it's been interesting to see what sort of Moriarty he develops into. You know, as a public hater of the BBC Sherlock Moriarty. It was nice to see a Moriarty that isn't played for laughs for once.
You know? Yes. Yeah. I'm really, I'm curious to break through the rest of the series to see what they do with him, and kind of where this character can go. I hope that it sort of maintains. I hope that it sort of maintains the level of energy, because it is a very energetic show. It's it's definitely it's entertaining. It's entertaining. It's watchable. It's fun. I think within the Holmes world, people are going to, I think, love it or hate it, like most Holmes products that comes out, but it's nowhere near as insufferable as Elementary. It's nowhere near as arrogant as BBC Sherlock, and
or as self-indulgent.
Yes, it's nowhere near as goofy as Guy Ritchie's first two films, which the first one is still the best, but that second one is just complete cornball. Like
it certainly is.
Except for the scenes between Moriarty and Holmes, everything else is like watching a slapstick comedy that I'm like, what are you doing? And
it's a shame, because I think Jude Law is, if you strip away all the stuff that is bad about those films, Jude Law is a very impressive Watson.
Jude Law's great. Jared Harris is honestly a fantastic Moriarty.
Fantastic Moriarty.
And
the bit where he first presents
great
himself.
Irene Adler.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The bit where Moriarty first presents himself to her at that restaurant.
Oh, that was great.
From behind the curtain. You instantly say, wow, this is good. This is good.
Yes. Yes.
Of all those products that you've just mentioned, I have to say this is the one. If I was going to watch one again, it would be this.
Yeah.
Because it's still got room to grow.
Yes.
And it's still got room to impress. And there's been enough of it, enough things in it that make me go, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah. I'm not going to love it, but I'll go with it, for longer than I thought I would.
Yeah. I think it's, especially, we live in a world where golden age detective fiction is, cozy crime is shoved down your throats. I do sort of like that Guy Ritchie doesn't go cozy. He just goes East London gangster. and I think it helps set Holmes like this apart from so many other twee things that are out there of this kind of that this could easily have fallen into. Enola Holmes is very twee. Netflix, you have the Richard Osman bullshit on Netflix. You have, I don't know, the Poirot, what's his face, Kenneth Branagh Poirot disasters, every couple of years that just, I'm just like, ugh. And of course, every other show on the BBC is some sort of goofy super detective genius guy, who just, God.
Again, it's all about presentation. It's all about presentation and how it's executed. But I would take Young Sherlock over Enola Holmes every single day of the week based on what I've seen so far.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess, we're saying, give this one a go, guys, because
give it a go. Yeah. Give it a
go. Something else I watched because I did a review on for Get Your Comic On, because I do some reviews over there as well. I watched the 3-episode premiere of Cross season 2. Have you watched any of that, Matt?
No. No, is this James Patterson's Alex Cross?
Yes, James Patterson's Alex Cross.
No. All I know about Alex, well, I've read a lot of the books back in the day, and the Morgan Freeman films.
Yes.
Beyond that, I'm not really a Cross, expert, aficionado, anything like that.
I'm far from that. I'm far from that as well. I've never read a single Cross novel. I'm not a James Patterson. Was it Patterson?
James Patterson.
Yeah. Patterson. I'm not a James Patterson fan. I want to say Peterson, but no, yeah. I'm not a massive. Clearly, I don't even know the guy's name. I didn't even care to make sure I got it right before I said it. So there we go. I think so. I'm only judging this as a show. I'm not judging this as a full on adaptation. Or even comparing it to Morgan Freeman, which I don't think any of the Cross films have done well. I think they've all been not great.
No, certainly Morgan Freeman is not my idea of Alex Cross.
No, I think Aldous Hodge, without knowing what Cross is like in the books, I liked his performance. I thought he came across as cool and interesting. The problem that I had with it is sort of two big things. One, the show is basically doing an Epstein commentary. So it literally opens up with an Epstein Island and a sort of, what was that guy who gunned down that pharmaceutical CEO in the States a while back? That Luigi, whatever the hell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's basically what you've got. You've got an Epstein figure, and then you have a Luigi figure who is going around and taking care of people who are connected to this Epstein figure and aware of bad things that are happening. So there's this sort of very obvious real world comparison to what's going on. But again, I've only seen the first 3 episodes. I've not finished the whole thing. I hope maybe it all pays off. I don't know. But there's a subplot that comes in with one of Cross's friends, who's like his brother, but not brother. He grew up with, or something like that. Who's also a cop with him. There's a subplot that is sort of shoehorned in where this woman has been arrested and charged with murder, and it just kind of suddenly turns out that it's this guy's real mom.
Right.
And
okay.
and there's these peripheral conversations with random characters who work at the station with this guy, but none of them are real characters. They're just sort of there to have some conversation and make you think the world is big and lived in, but it's just sort of like, why are we talking to this person? Who is this person? So it's I mean, look, what I would say is I probably enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Reacher. Reacher is like just watching. Reacher's like just hanging out in the meat factory in Rocky. That's all Reacher is. It's just sitting in that cold meat factory watching meat hang from hooks, and that's it. And freezing your balls off. This was more fun. It was more engaging. But is it super memorable? Is it what I found interesting with Amazon Prime is that they're sort of the home of what people call like dad thrillers or something like that. Action thrillers that just are kind of generally just okay. They're never gonna blow your mind. And when you have something on Amazon like Bosch, that was genuinely really good from start to finish, with a really well-rounded, interesting cast. I'm just like, I wish more of these shows like tried to go keep up to that standard, whereas all of these feel just a little bit like several notches below that.
Yeah, I wonder if, I mean, I've not seen Cross, so I'm going off what you're saying, but I know what you mean about dad thrillers. And take something like Bosch. Bosch is like a gritty adult adaptation of gritty adult books, right? Now, I agree that I wish more things would try and be that, but I also think that some things shouldn't be ashamed of being what they are. You know?
Yeah.
Like Murder She Wrote is not ashamed of being what it is and offering what it does. And as long as that is well, well produced, by which I mean all of it, then there's nothing wrong with that. People shouldn't be frightened of saying we're just a cheesy cop show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of trying to be political or, you know what I'm trying to say, or like based in the real world.
Clunkily political.
Yeah, clunkily political.
Is that the right way to put it? I don't know.
I don't know. But that's what I mean. Being so obviously, we're going to reference Epstein because it's edgy. We think it's edgy. Well, it isn't edgy. It's not edgy at all.
Well, I had to laugh. I mean, I'm not going to name names, but there was some stuff going around on the internet where a certain author was, I don't know if I should be saying this. I don't know. There was someone who was sort of pretending to be shocked and surprised at how timely their book was. And this is all happening around the same time, the Epstein stuff started to really kick off about 2 months ago or something like that. Around the same time Cross came out. And I just sort of thought, I mean, this stuff has been in the news and in the media for like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in terms of being like and particularly in the last like 5 years, this has been like a regular news topic. So like it's not like you were like, we're ahead of the game and this all just came out. It's like everyone knew.
Yeah.
It's just that,
and even if they didn't, the chance, if you're a crime or a thriller writer and you know about a private island full of rich men, it doesn't take a huge leap of plot imagination to think, I reckon I could set a story there. And when it turns out that your story was unwittingly based on truth, I don't think you can claim prescience. I think you can just say, I had a pretty obvious plot idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah.
But I just think some of these shows should just pretend. They shouldn't pretend to be something they're not. That's the point I was making.
Yeah.
They should just be content to be what you are. And if that's an entertaining, disposable popcorn cop show, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't worry about it.
Yes. I agree. I think this could have. I'll probably watch it at some point. I'll probably finish it. It's not high praise, but it's like, look, if you got nothing to do and you're looking for something to watch, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna be mildly entertained, and you're not going to feel like I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it by any stretch. But it was just sort of like it was run of the mill, and I think that's that's the overall problem that I have with a lot of crime TV shows. There are so many of them, and most of them are just sort of. I mean, I remember trying to recently watch the Karen Perry, and I don't think I finished one episode. I thought, no, fuck this shit. But then we really enjoyed Rebus. Genuinely enjoyed Rebus, not because Ian is a friend of the show, but because it was genuinely good. It just would have been really awkward if that was really bad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy Rebus, and I think what was good about Rebus was that it didn't try and adapt one novel. What I think was really inspired about it was that it took strands from different novels across the 30 years that Ian's been writing, or whatever it is, more than that probably now. And so it captured the spirit of the whole series.
Yeah.
In 6 episodes, the whole book series in 6 episodes. I thought that was really inspired, rather than just saying we'll adapt.
Yes.
Resurrection Men or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But yeah,
I agree.
But I mean, Karen Piri is one of those things. It's just
there.
It's there, but it's too long. I mean, this is an issue that I've long had. You know, those stories can be told in an hour and a half. So we've recently just watched Linley, which is the revamped version of the Inspector Linley mysteries, based on the Elizabeth George books, and they're not going to set your world on fire. There was 4 episodes of an hour and 25 each, an hour and 30 each. Not going to set your life on fire. They're not going to make your world explode. They're not going to make you run to the books. But when you've had dinner and you've just got an hour and a half to watch something before you go to bed, they were engaging for that hour and a half. Not pretending to be anything special, not pretending to be anything edgy. They were just detective stories. And sometimes I say to myself, that's all I want. That's all I want to watch. Just a detective story that I've not seen a million times that will carry me through a couple of hours in the evening. Perfect TV for that mindset. Perfect TV. Whereas Karen Piri's on for about 12 hours. You know, you think, oh God, this is a real commitment. And if the ending is no good, I'll be furious, because that's an issue I've got. 6 or 8 hours of TV, and then the ending is a cliffhanger for a series 2 that never comes.
Yeah. Yes. I will say at least the Amazon shows give you a conclusion. Yeah. There might be hints of a thing, but there's no big cliffhanger on the mystery. You know, there might be some interpersonal cliffhangers, but there's no and
they're fine, aren't they? Because
for that.
Yeah, because if they're never resolved, because series 2 doesn't come along, the plot has been resolved.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can just make up your mind about the subplots. I have no issue with that.
You know, like whatever happened to Alice in Luther. You know, they claim that she died, but did she die? You know,
but did she die?
Is she out there? You know, I think she probably is. Obviously, Netflix have done some Luther stuff. I think they're doing some more Luther stuff, but I actually don't count Netflix's Luther as legitimate.
No, nor do I.
Their first Luther film, Fallen Sun, was just dog shit. It went the same route as BBC Sherlock, and it's like, we're gonna go full on Bond. When Luther is being dropped into like the Arctic and trudging through the snow in his chinos and light jacket with his hands in his pockets, I was just like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah. He should be walking around central London. Yeah.
Yes. But also when that show returned and there's that opening shot, and the thing is, what I loved about Luther, the original show, is they shot in London and they shot in real London locations. They didn't do green screen crap. Everything is real, and you can go to those places if they exist. The one of the episodes in season 1 is the old Elephant and Castle with the old roundabout that is no longer there, but was there when I first moved to London. So it's almost like a relic of the past. It's a bit like the Pool of London. It sort of captures a version of London that isn't there anymore.
Or the Long Goodbye. The Long Good Friday. I mean, the Long Good Friday.
Yeah, Long Good Friday. Yes. So in this new one, when he's like standing on the top of a building, like he's fucking Batman with his stupid coat. Like they've turned his outfit into a superhero outfit. It's like, no, he just was a guy with a dark coat, and that was it. That was it. Now it's like, yes,
he was a cop.
Yes,
Come
he was a
on.
bad, dirty cop, and but you wanted him to succeed. Yeah, so and this is my, I'm kind of edging this into mentioning Peaky Blinders because the Peaky Blinders film comes out in 10 days time from now, and I just I don't trust Netflix to take over BBC properties and do them any justice.
No, this is the thing. This is the thing that sometimes things are best left alone, aren't they?
Yes. Well, because also Peaky Blinders was meant to end at season 5.
Yeah.
And then it was getting too popular. So then the BBC changed their mind and brought it back for season 6. And then that was meant to be the end. And then they're like, ooh, we're going to sell the rights to Netflix and we're going to do a film. And that's going to be the end. And now they're going to do another series of Peaky Blinders in like the 1950s. And I'm like, guys,
come on.
Peaky Blinders was at most like a sort of late Victorian into the early 1920s like gang. It wasn't even a proper gang. It was just random guys doing violent things, and there wasn't a real gang called the Peaky Blinders. Like,
no.
It's like, yeah,
they wouldn't stand up to the gangs that were emerging in the 50s into the craze.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to edge. They're trying to push it into this this legacy of the Shelby family just being this sort of gangster mafia that is carrying on throughout time. And I guess they probably will start coming up against, in the way that the original Peaky Blinders show had facsimiles of real life Sabini and stuff.
Yeah, they had Mosley, didn't they, and people like that in the original Peaky Blinders. But I mean,
so they'll probably do that with this. But I'm also just like, it's the 1950s, guys. Just stop it.
Yeah,
in the show, please. We're now Legacy. We're now Saved by the Bell, the next class, or the new class. Stop.
Yeah, I know exactly what it got. Saved by the Bell, the next class. I know exactly what you mean. It's just that's when the money men seem to take over for me. Or give us one more because it makes money.
Yes.
But artistically, it's dead.
Yes.
Creatively, it's dead. Just stop. Stop.
Yes. You could say Saved by the Bell's a good comparison, because you could say the Immortal Man is Saved by the Bell, the college years. and then the new season would be Saved by the Bell, the new class. That's
the college years.
Immortal Man is the college years. I haven't even seen it. I'm dogging on it. But it's one of those things.
Things do outstay their welcome. Things do outstay their welcome, and it's seldom that when something comes back, it comes back with a real vengeance. And makes you go, "My God, really good. Glad this is back." Very rare that happens.
Yes, yeah. It's one of the few shows that I think ended perfectly was Ripper Street. 5 great seasons. 5 great seasons. And again, Amazon Prime. They're the ones who saved Ripper Street, took it on at Series 3, gave it an ending. Series 3 was potentially going to be the end. They gave it an ending. And then the numbers were so good that they're like, oh, let's do a little bit more. But they said, look, the creators behind the Ripper Street were like, 2 more seasons. We have an ending. Let's bring it to that ending. And my God, those final 2 seasons are fucking great.
They are
just
great.
Great. And that ending, I'm not even want to spoil it. That ending is just.
I remember it. That's how good it is. I remember it all these years later.
I do too. I think about it often. Like it comes to me on a regular basis. That, great score, great cast. God, fucking great cast. Great characters. I love Jackson. I love Drake. I mean, I remember their names. I love Susan. Like, this is the thing. Like, these are, I'm remembering that. That's always the sign that something was, had all the right ingredients. And then, I might rewatch it now.
I was just going to say I've added it to my Netflix list, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to start it from scratch because I don't remember there being. There must have been, but I don't remember there being an episode where I thought, "Oh God, that was a bit of a dud." There must have been somewhere I thought not as good as the others, maybe, but I don't remember there being one that stood out to me as a.
No, there isn't. Good. There isn't one that's like, oh, geez, that was a jump the shark. No, there's no episode like that whatsoever.
No, I didn't think there was. And like you, I thought Jackson was one of the best things I'd seen.
Homer Jackson, I love that dude.
For years, literally for years.
He was cool as shit. He was cool.
And his relationship with Long Susan,
I
just thought was magnificent.
Yes. Yeah.
And seeing Jerome Flynn, I mean, I'd written him off as a, like a cheesy pop star after Soldier when he was with Robson Jerome and Robson Green, whatever he's called. And they did.
Oh, you never saw him in Game of Thrones because he's.
I've
awesome
never watched Game of Thrones. So
he's good in Game of Thrones. He's cool in that.
I saw him appear as this again. It was like the Downey Jr. Holmes films, going back to those. You first see Drake, I think, in a backroom boxing match, and
they riff a lot on elements of Ritchie's film, the first film for sure. There's a lot that they rip off.
But the theme music I think is always a bit
theme music and the
Irish
and the text.
folk thing, violin thing.
Yeah.
But what an introduction to Drake, and then his relationship with Rose.
Yes, Rose. Oh, yes.
Really, it was so good. The whole thing was brilliant. I mean, that's quality TV that we've not had the like of since.
That might be the last BBC show that I loved, and I remember being gobsmacked that they canceled it, and then being so happy that Prime. And this is back when Prime had to make an effort, and they really made an effort with those last 3 seasons.
And there were elements of horror to it. I mean, that the reporter was he called Best? Was he called Best?
Best, Fred Best? I think he was. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what happens, but he ends up with like a fake eye or something, or a fake mouth or something.
His like ear gets chopped off at some point, and
his
he has
ear
that
gets
fake
chopped.
ear.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Brilliant stuff.
It's great.
Brilliant stuff. I'm definitely going to watch that again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's so much stuff out there, and I mean, I'm like, I long for the stuff that's like, classic Luther, that's like Ripper Street. Young Sherlock is fun and fine. It's not that level. It's not that level of exciting, but it's still fun and good. Same with Cross. It's fun and good, but it's I'm like, give me Bosch, give me Luther, give me Ripper Street. Like give me that. That's what I want. Not this. Anything else that we've watched we want to cover on this all here debriefed?
I don't know. Nothing that really sort of made me sit up and take notice, to be honest. I did mention this thing with Kelly Riley called Under Salt Marsh. Did you watch that?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Well, it was a missed opportunity is what it was. I mean, because it's Kelly Riley, who I think is really good, and it's Rafe Spall, and they were once partners in terms of being a detective team, and there was one case that split them up, and broke the team, and she goes to the middle of nowhere on Anglesey, and then a case happened, a body is found, and Ray Spall comes to investigate it, and the past is dragged up again. So on paper, it was quite a good thing, but it just went on forever, and it was like 6 or 8 episodes? I can't remember. And there was just endless shots, because I think the director thought it was like arty. Endless shots of causeways and the sea on the Anglesey shore and these marshes and people staring into space, and you think, get on with it, Get on with it. Tell me some story, quick. And I thought this could have been 3 episodes. Could have cut this in half, and told the same story. And that seems to be an issue for a lot of things these days. That we seem to have gone back. People want box sets, but not every story is worthy of a box set running time. sort of thing.
No. There was some article actually recently where I don't remember where it was, maybe The Guardian, where someone basically said that, oh, we need to go back to like the mini series. We need more mini series because series, they're using examples like Stranger Things or blah blah blah. And it's like no, it's like yeah, sure, some things should be a mini series and they shouldn't go further than that, but there's nothing wrong with a good box set as long as they keep it moving. But I sort of get bored with the with certain films and TV shows that overly indulge in the cinematography. And this, so I mean, like for me, like Peaky Blinders is diminishing returns. I think the first season is great. Season 2 is pretty good. Season 3 is not very good. Season 4 kind of takes it back up, and then it's just kind of very forgettable the rest of the way. But that was a show that became a victim of its own style, where it's like, okay, yep, we're used to the slow-mo walking scenes. Yep, we're used to the slow-mo walking scenes with like fire and stuff going on behind them, and them walking in a straight line down the street, and with the Nick Cave music or the Jack White music behind them, or the Arctic Monkeys or the whatever the fuck. And then it just became that over and over and over, even to the point where it's like kind of doesn't even make sense anymore. It's like, all right, you're just, are you writing a story, or are you just writing scenes so that you can put, PJ Harvey, behind, over the top of it? Like, what are you doing?
That's sort of sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say, so like, stuff like that where it's like overly indulgent and just here are these long shots just to fill time. Makes me think of like Dune. Denis Villeneuve is very similar. I mean, I love Blade Runner. Love Blade Runner 2049. 2049 could still probably be trimmed by a good 30 minutes. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It doesn't need to be that long, and that's a lot of it is long shots. Hanging on a little bit too long.
Yeah, I just start to tell me the story pretty quickly, or else I'm turning off. Because it was as if they'd said, well, we've got 6 hours to fill, and we've only got 3 hours worth of story. So what we'll do is we'll do endless shots that we'll say are atmospheric of the landscape, and then of deserted streets, and then of fish and chip wrappers blowing on the pebbles of the beach. And you think, I don't care about this. Give me some interaction, because some of the acting was really good. Some of it was pretty bad. And in the last, 30 minutes of the very last episode, it was really tense and exciting. And you thought, where the hell's this sort of direction been for the last 5.5 hours?
Yes.
There was a lot of character work. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of character work in it, and some of it was very compelling. But some of it was just so leaden and like treading treacle. And I just thought, I can't, this. It got to. I only finished it because I said to my mum, I am not going to let it beat me. I am gonna finish it.
See, I don't look at it that way. When something is so bad, I'm just like, you know what? My time is too valuable, and you are not worthy of my time.
Well, normally I'm like that. I say life is too short to read a book you're not enjoying. It's finished book you're not enjoying. But this, I don't know. It just got to me, and I thought I'm definitely going to finish this.
Yes, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I think part of that was because I did want to know who'd done it. I did want to know what the mystery was all about. It's just that you had to wade through all this rubbish to get to it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And we were talking when we covered The Usual Suspects. We were saying, didn't we, that how much that does in an hour and 40 minutes.
Stop. We can't talk that episode.
Oh, this is going out first, isn't it? This is going out first. I forgot this is going out first. All right, edit that. Edit that. Fuck.
No, I'm going to leave it in. Red alert.
Yeah, red alert. Oh,
woke up my daughter just to stop you from spoiling our review.
yeah. I'll make the same point in a different way. So, and just sort of say, gone are the days where films tell a story, or TV shows tell a story in an hour and 40 minutes. It's a shame.
Yes. And it was true. It's true. Speaking of a film that can't tell itself in a short amount of time, I did start watching the animated adaptation of Watchmen. It's two parts, and both parts are an hour and a half. And I'm like, this is the exact same length as the Zack Snyder film, And as I'm watching it, look, I mean, it is the Snyder film I like. It's one of the few Zack Snyder films that I genuinely like and think is good overall. I know he
Yeah.
doesn't stick to the comic book ending. Whatever, I still like it. Um, most of that film is like almost one for one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is with this animated adaptation, I'm like, it's the same amount of time. It's basically one for one, and I don't know. It's like if someone did an animated version of the Lord of the Rings and then just did exactly beat for beat what Peter Jackson did, both visually, because he Snyder brought the comic, like literally brought the comic to life.
Yeah, I remember going to the pictures to see it, and some of the when the
Mm.
comedian falls out of the window.
Yep, it's exactly
Perfect.
It's and this is and again, it's like I don't want to knock the artistry of this animated version because it looks good. It looks like the comic. It's the comic. It is the comic brought to life in animated form.
Yeah.
But it's also like the comic. I've already seen this in the movie in the live action movie. So I'm like, I don't know what this is adding other than just another way of watching this story.
So I'm just looking at some images, and it does look. I mean, it does look impressive. I have to say, it does look good. I can see the point of, well, I've already had this.
Yeah, well, I'm watching and I'm thinking all it's making me think of are the Snyder images. It's making me think of both the comic book and then the Snyder images, and then this. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, what can it do different to the Snyder film?
Well, it's not the only thing. That's it. That's all it's going to do.
Ending.
Is yes, that's its. That I think is probably its reason for existing, and that is to be a 100% faithful adaptation of the source material, whereas the Snyder veered at the end and didn't go
which,
there.
Which begs the question for me: Do you is that a raison d'être for a film to be made?
No,
I don't think it is. If you want the original ending, you go and read the graphic novel, don't you?
Exactly. So, look, it's not bad. It's by no means bad. I think the cast is all pretty good, and it's entertaining to watch. But it just has that problem of you're just sort of like, all right.
Yeah, it's been done for the sake of doing it. That's the sort of impression I'm getting, and
yes,
that's not a reason to make a film.
No, I don't think so. In the non-crime neo-noir adjacent world, a couple of things I have watched that I somewhat regret watching is I had a very tiring day the other day, and by the time I finally got my kid down for a nap, I just plonked down on the sofa and I decided to watch Jurassic World Rebirth. The Gareth Edwards directed film starring Scarlett Johansson and a bunch of other people.
Are you going to name any, or do you not know any?
The only other person that I know, it has the guy who plays the Lincoln lawyer in the Netflix Lincoln lawyer show. And then it has Mahershala Ali, the guy who's meant to be Blade in the Marvel Blade movie that's never going to get made.
All right.
Those are the only people I kind of know.
I know Rupert. I'm just looking at the cast list. I know Rupert Friend, who is playing a character called Martin Krebs.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This film was fucking awful. This film was like it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing how pathetic it was on a technical level, on a narrative level, on an acting level. Just fucking pathetic. And I remember people being like, "Oh my god, like this film is like, it's like the closest thing to the Michael Crichton book." No, fuck off, it is not. Just because this dumbass film puts has the Tyrannosaurus Rex chase after some people in a boat down the river does not mean that this is better or closer to, just because it includes that one fucking scene.
That one scene.
It is truly stupid. And I think it might have been written by someone who worked on the first one. Let me just double check that. So he wrote, it was David Cope, whatever.
Yeah, I've never else to say his name. Is it Cope?
Cope. I'll go with Cope. But yes, he's done wrote the screenplay. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for Load. So he worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on Jurassic World. He worked on The Lost World. Worked on Mission Impossible. Worked on the Spider-Man 2022. But he's done a few decent things. I like Secret Window, but this was terrible. This was fucking terrible. The whole there's a big it's not about real dinosaurs anymore. It's about mutated dinosaurs, where they create some mutant dinosaurs. They're trying to make mutant dinosaurs because I don't know, they need to merge a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a Velociraptor with a whatever the fuck, because isn't that interesting? No, it's not interesting at all. It's stupid.
No.
There's this big sort of moment where at the beginning of the movie, and this tells you like everything you need to know about how dumb this fucking thing is. You're in this facility, this like locked down science facility where they're doing all their sciencey cloney shit, and there's this fucking cunt who's stuffing his face with a fucking Snickers bar, and he's wearing his like hazmat suit thing, and his little front is up so he can shove his fucking chocolate bar into his stupid mouth, and he's so eager to get into the next room that you have to like use the key to get in and turn it at the same time with the other person on the other side, that he shoves the chocolate bar into his mouth, and the wrapper falls on the floor, and he just lets it sit on the floor. And so then when he walks into the airtight room where they're meant to be doing some work. Obviously, the air sucks the wrapper into the room, and then the wrapper goes into the mechanics of the door, and this wrapper, this tiny fucking plastic wrapper, like lodges itself in the door and like causes the whole facility to like go into meltdown. And then this big giant dinosaur monster gets loose, and you're like, really?
That's ridiculous.
A fucking Snickers wrapper? Like, you expect me, movie, to carry on and have any respect for you when you're doing something so fucking stupid? It was insufferable. It was insufferable. Scarlett Johansson was fucking terrible in this movie. Like she's doing all these like smirky quips and stuff that just do not land. Her like kind of love interesty sort of partner guy, Jonathan Bailey, plays this Dr. Henry Loomis. That I'm like, that just made me think of Lumen from Dexter, but then also made me think of Linus from Peanuts.
well, Dr. Loomis makes me think of Halloween. and then
Halloween.
Yes, and Halloween.
Halloween. Yep. Just like, oh my
Jesus.
God.
Nobody said we can't call him Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, they just he just is there he's like this weirdo random civilian that they bring along to do dinosaur exposition. He doesn't need to be there. He's just there for Scarlett Johansson to be like, what is that dinosaur? And he's like, this is from the Bajajasa period. And you're just like, oh my God. And then there's just randomly they shoehorn in a family that again is like, that's swimming too close to the island, so they have to come with them, and now there's this family that's stuck on the island with them, and blah 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 blah. It's just God.
This is torturous.
It was insufferable.
So here's my question, which might be, I don't know, might be controversial, but
zero falcons.
Not even a feather.
Nope.
Why are we still making Jurassic Park films 30 odd years later?
Because they make money. Jurassic Park has gone the way of Transformers. It is big, dumb, stupid movie for stupid mouth breathers. As the first one was clever, it had some thought put behind it, and then you get to the second one, and that thought gets a little bit dimmer, and then you get to the third one, and it gets and then you're like, okay, you've stretched this to the end, no more now, and then they come back. And I'm honestly, the first 5 minutes of this movie is just, there's so much nostalgia bait. Like, it is exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, they're going down the street and there's a bus called Crichton High School. Okay, yeah, we get it. They go into the museum where they're packing up a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton, and behind the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton, a banner falls in the same way it falls in the first film at the very end when the Tyrannosaurus Rex, like, there's all of these like callbacks and references. Like, oh my god,
reminds me of years and years ago, and I can't even remember what this book is about or even who wrote it, but there was a Dracula novel came out, and all the character names were actors who had played him.
Oh no.
So
someone thought they were being clever and they were being stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. or even, and then they realized, people won't recognize these less known ones. So, like, I'm sure there was a Dr. Cushing, you know what I mean? So they start bringing in all the Hammer people, and you think, this is just so obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously nonsense, and lazy and stupid, and it's not showing that you know anything about this franchise, for want of a better word, for Dracula. And it's so cheap and tacky. I don't know why they do it. They do it. When you compare that to like things in the Indiana Jones films where it's Club Obi-Wan and the plane is like, is it COP3 or something? The plane at the start. It's
maybe, yeah, I can't remember, but yes, you know what I mean? Those are fun little nods.
Those are fun nods that are just there. Blinking, you'll miss them.
Yes,
but
also they're from the people who made the thing.
Who made it? Yeah, that was just the point I was going to make. They're sort of allowed to do it.
Yes, yes.
But it's like, it's so bad. I don't know why people think it's clever, because it isn't. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
Not. Yes.
But I can't for the life of me think, well, apart from the cynical reason that you've given, the reason itself being cynical, not you giving it, but I just don't understand why we're making Jurassic Park films 30 odd years later, other than studios thinking, we have no new ideas, but we need to make money. So let's mine the Temple of Doom depths to find some property that people might still be nostalgic for.
Yeah, we have IP. We must use IP. We have IP.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I'd like? I'd like a film with an original character in it. That's what I'd like.
Yes. I agree. It was
a character that I don't know, that I can get to know over the course of 2 hours, that I can start to care about over the course of 2 hours. That's what I would really give my back teeth for.
Yes. Introduce us to the next Indiana Jones. Introduce us to the next Walter White. Introduce us to the next RoboCop.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing is. Introduce
whatever that thing is. Yeah. Make a new IP. Why not? Because I remember seeing in Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time and thinking to myself, "Wow, this isn't." I mean, I was 6, so you have to forgive me. This isn't Han Solo. This is something quite different. This isn't James Bond. This is something different. I need to know about this man. And then you learn about him as the film goes on. That was loved it.
Yes.
Can't get that now, can you? Can't get that for love nor money now.
Not as such. There are little bits of things out there. Every once in a while, something pops out. I mean, look, as much as I don't particularly like the sequels, John Wick is one of the few.
Yeah.
One of the few in recent years that have emerged as the new thing that worked on its own. So as much as I'm like, I'm done with that franchise, I'm like, hey man, at least it was a new guy and he is cool, and it's got some cool action and whatever. But no. So I would say Jurassic World Rebirth is.
I can honestly say I will not be watching Jurassic Park, whatever it's called.
No. The last thing I will say that I watched was The Banshees of Inisherin with Brandon Gleeson and Colin Farrell, and that film is fucking great. 5 Falcons, amazing.
Yeah,
it doesn't go anywhere where you think it's gonna go, and it starts going places, and you're like, holy shit, what is he doing? Oh my god, wow. Dramatic. It's funny. I don't want to spoil anything about it. If you haven't watched it, just go watch it, because you will laugh, you will gasp, you will be moved, and you will be shocked. Great.
Yeah, it's a film I need to rewatch. I watched it when it came out. I want to rewatch that.
Yeah.
You've got 2 good actors there, aren't you? At the helm.
Yeah. Well, everyone in it is really good. The only person I don't care about is Barry Keoghan. I just don't like him. I don't know. I think it's his face. And also I am tainted from Saltburn. Watching him like literally like fuck a grave was the most disturbing thing I've ever had to see on screen. And I just and the fact that was his idea just made me think, you are kind of a gross person. Like I think you're just a gross person, and I don't like you now. So I don't want to watch you in anything. So when he crops up, I'm just like, ugh, gross.
Well, what are you going to be like when he's the Joker?
I won't watch it.
No.
Because I'm sick of the Joker.
Yeah, well,
we know that.
We're both sick of the Joker.
No more Joker. However, the Joker in the current run of Absolute Batman is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There is it's sort of a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Mm. Don't say
in
too
a way
much.
that
I've not read them yet.
Yeah, in a way that you don't expect. It's great. I've been loving Absolute Batman. That is just deliciously noir. It's a great noir comic book. It is, I love it. Go read it. I love it. Anything else?
No, I think that's me done. I think so.
I think we wrapped up all of our debriefs. Well, I guess don't forget, guys, go follow, subscribe to Cinema Sleuths. Like I said, we're everywhere. Podbean, Apple, Spotify, all the places that you can get your podcasts. We'll be there.
Put the date in your diaries.
Yes, May 4th, we're kicking off. So subscribe, make sure the notifications are on, and get ready for a heck of a good time. So Mean Streets, we're gonna keep things on an every other week situation for the foreseeable future, and we'll see you next time. But we have an episode coming out next week. The Usual Suspects. with a very special guest. We have Sky from Film 89 joining us for that. So that was a lot of fun to record.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. So be sure to tune in for that one. And So follow Cinema Sleuths, like this, podcast as well.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, leave comments, give us the ratings, all that kind of stuff. They really do help us out, and all that kind of great stuff. But anyway,
they really do.
We will actually be back next week with a new investigation. So in the meantime, take care walking down those mean streets.